The big fight is finally here, GAROU vs. the Monster King in One Punch Man Season 3, Episode 5. No CGI for the Monster King, can you believe it? They actually drew him in 2D. And we also got our battle with GAROU versus Rover. While some of the shots were artistically beautiful, and there was actually some decent and pretty good animations here and there in the episode, there was unfortunately a lot of places where this episode completely fell apart in terms of the animation. I'm showing you the good stuff right now, but I'll show you the bad stuff later in this review. Because artistically, some of these shots were really stunning and gorgeous. But they cut a lot of stuff out, and they missed a ton of opportunities for animation, just proving how rushed they were for this season. I think it's pretty clear here now, this entire season might be cooked. It's just overly rushed. There was not enough time, period. The episode opens up with GAROU bleeding from his stomach, and this is important to note because they fumbled this fight here with GAROU vs. Royal Ripper. He was supposed to get pierced through the stomach by one of the swords, but as he breaks off a blade, instead of it going through his hand, which is wrong, he's also supposed to have a piercing through his stomach, but in this punch he does not, and now he does. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because directly after this scene, he's supposed to eat one of the monster's arms. It's in the manga, and it's supposed to depict his monsterification process, so they're cutting things out and getting panels wrong, and that's quite irritating as a fan. So we finally get introduced to Rover, who is called Pochi here in One Punch Man Season 3. GAROU can immediately tell that this monster is on a completely different level and they should just back away and not mess with it. And that's when they encounter 3 other monsters who GAROU makes quick work of. They're pretty easy fodder for him at this point. And I really like that strong punch into the shower head guy. However, some of these art shots really did a terrible job in depicting Murata's manga. Here's some side-by-sides. These shots are just so important in the episode to nail because Murata's art is part of what makes One Punch Man so incredible. And in terms of, did they nail it? Did they depict Murata's art in animation form? For 3 of these insane shots, I mean, maybe one of them, but I really didn't feel it here. GAROU's gonna kick one of the monsters away, and he accidentally kicks it in the direction of Rover, who they finally ticked him off, and now he's gonna shoot one of his death blasts. Unfortunately, it goes into One Frame Man sliding out a PNG, and we do not like this, especially for the intro of Rover, but fortunately it does get better later in the episode as they're fighting in the kind of Coliseum. But for his introduction, we got a PNG for the death bomb, which is not great. Some of these shots here, like GAROU running, and some of these shots are really pretty. A lot of the artistic direction in this episode was great, not all of it, but some of them was very, very pretty. And if you like One Punch Man for the colors, then you're probably gonna be happy, but for the majority of us, that's not really why we watch this series. We want strong animation, strong combat, and we want to laugh. This shot here, I thought was going to be some kind of crazy Sakuga scene. I mean, I guess the smoke kind of is. The smoke is still pretty, it looks very fluid and creamy here. I like the shot in general, but it's blatantly obvious how some scenes are getting so much more attention than other scenes throughout these episodes. Some scenes are really pretty and fluid and look great, and some are just what am I looking at? We also got this really good animation here. I don't know who the animator is, but they ruined it with ghosting. So we hate ghosting. It's like a cheap way to add fluidity to an animation, but it pretty much ruins the animation. Basically, you're just taking the previous frame, turning it to 50% opacity and putting it on top of the next frame. And I thought this animation was one of the best in the episode, and then they just ghost it and ruin it. GAROU's gonna do his best to try and take on Rover, but this disaster level dragon is way too much for him, at least at his current point, and is going to continually blast GAROU over and over through the monster association. Lots of nice smoky shots kind of showing destruction and scale, but they cut out a lot. The death beam is supposed to show him being blasted through floor by floor by floor as he goes deeper and deeper, and they pretty much just cut it out. They cut out a lot in here, and I feel like they missed a lot of opportunities for some really compelling animation. Instead chose to give us these kind of sliding still frame shots that, don't get me wrong, if you pause it, in terms of the composition, it looks great, but, we're not here for sliding PNGs, dude. Fortunately, they did a pretty good job depicting the strength and the ferocity of Rover. Like, I definitely got the feeling that this is one of the most powerful monsters we've ever encountered. And in terms of like how they depicted him, this was his big premiere episode, so I thought they did an overall pretty good job with Rover. It could have been better, but it could have been worse too. Garou is hanging from a ledge above Rover, and then I actually really liked his sit punch animation, so I could feel a lot of weight here. This actually made me jump out of my seat a little bit. It was probably the only cut in the episode where I was like, wow, oh, some real power. I definitely felt a lot of weight, and I liked this animation. Whoever the animator was, I thought it was solid. But now Garou's gonna get blasted down into Garou's section of the Monster Association, the powerful psychic leader of the monsters, and he's gonna paralyze Garou with his psychic powers. And it seems like the compositing or something like changed once he went down into this lowest floor. At this point, Garou's outfit has also changed again. It's all shredded up. And Garou's battle with Rover is complete, but now he has to take on Garou. So they're going to talk a little while about his monsterification process. Primarily, he's going to focus on Orochi and how he was able to turn him into this ultimate monster. And that's important because Garou is about to have to fight Orochi, which I'm very happy we got to that in this episode, actually. I wasn't even sure if they were going to fight at all, but they put like the whole fight in this episode. Meanwhile, we go back to Saitama, who's going to venture forth into the Monster Association, but he is not the focus of this episode. It is Garou, who is talking a lot of crap to Garou, and he's actually able to resist his psychic powers eventually. He's continually growing, like it's seemingly like every minute. He's fighting so many powerful enemies that he's basically turned into a Saiyan. So now we go over to one of the best scenes or shots of all One Punch Man manga, and man, I was so disappointed in this. This little floating in the air and then the shot itself, I do not feel like this captured Murata's vision at all. It's just super disappointing to me. It's got the neon colors, it's missing detail, it's only 2 grades of shading. They should have put like 4. I mean, if it's just gonna be one of the best art shots, just put like hella shading and detail, man. But it feels like an in-between frame. Just as an example, here's an image from season 1, which I feel like completely captures Murata's design and imagery. The tone, the contrast, the levels of shading, it captures the vision, and here it just completely misses it. So now Orochi finally attacks. His hand like bursts through the ground and grabs onto Garou. It has some interesting level texture on it. It's all 2D. I'm very, very surprised there was no CGI here. But because they're not doing CGI, there really is not a lot of movement for Orochi. Garou slams his elbows onto the ground, causing him to fly up in the air and do a little backflip here, and he's gonna stand off against the Monster King. This is like, I think, one of the most decent ways to use the neon-like color palettes. I think they used it twice correctly here, but there was still a lot of shots where it should not have been neon. For example, this scene, it's okay, he's getting pierced through the stomach. It's slow motion and a super important scene, so making it neon to emphasize, hey, this is an important scene, it works here. Making it neon to emphasize the cold standoff between these 2 powerhouses, that's okay. But when 2 characters are talking to each other, just having like a normal conversation, and then all of a sudden one of them is neon, it doesn't make any sense. They also cut some elements of this fight out. Orochi is supposed to slam Garou into the wall like so hard that a silhouette of his face is formed into the rock. They cut that out. This animation here was pretty strange, man. What is Garou doing with his feet, bro? But fortunately, Van Oba stepped in and gave us this beautiful first-person perspective shot. So this is one of the animators we thought was going to be working here on this episode, and he definitely delivered. He said himself on Twitter he was not a fan of the compositing or the art direction of this episode, but he is still proud of his cut, and I told him we're proud of you too. One of the reasons his cut stands out is because he animated the landscapes. This is like when animators animators go crazy. They literally animate the landscapes, and it's just always so mesmerizing and beautiful. It's a crazy amount of extra work, but boy, does it hit. This scene here where Garou is running from Orochi's horns, I felt like it was a little weak just in terms of the speed. Like, the animation is not really bad, but Guro's making this point about, wow, look, like he's getting faster, but it really just does not feel fast, like, to watch. I mean, they could have at least sped up the frames, like, once the wind started coming over him, right? Like, so you just speed it up to 150% or something, just to kind of show that, like, he's actually getting faster. But, you know, I just really didn't get the impression that he's getting faster. It just looks like he's jogging, you know? It straight up looks like he's jogging. And they could have fixed, actually, a lot of that just simply with the frames. Like, they weren't, it's not even an animation thing. They could have just changed the speed of the frames and made it seem like he's running way faster. Garou takes the opportunity to jump straight towards Orochi's face, and he's gonna try and slam him with an attack, but Orochi's giant mouth opens in slow motion, fully 2D, and I fully appreciated that. I really appreciate that they did not use CGI on Orochi. However, because they didn't, it really is a lack of movement in a lot of these scenes. They were able to give us these beautiful art shots. I mean, some of these just look like crazy gorgeous, but very little animation. It got to the point where Orochi's lasers are just not even pulsing. And it's weird to look at. It's like there's fire moving, but the lasers are static. Like, you gotta have them pulse or something, like just show that they're shooting. So it's just weird. It feels unfinished. And it's such a slight little thing that they could have added just some energy going through those lasers. Somehow Garou's able to withstand the laser beams, and then he is able to block one of Orochi's punches. Nice, you know, artistic shot here, just shaky still frame. I mean, again, the art is pretty beautiful here in a lot of this, and the colors and everything is amazing. This shot here, Garou looks insane. I love that, but art is not going to carry this series. It's just unfortunate. Garou is getting wrecked by the Monster King. He stands off with him, but it's pretty clear here how outmatched he is. First Rover, and then Garo, and now the Monster King. Three monsters that he is obviously seeing he has a huge ladder to climb, but he's confident in himself, and he's gonna use his full power here to try and take on the Monster King, taking on Silverfang's martial arts stance, to which Orochi, I really like this animation here, by the way, copies the stance. And it's all fully animated in 2D, some nice little like subtle movements, redraws. It feels good. I really like this shot of him pulling off the Garou stance. This takes Garou by surprise. He's like, you haven't even seen the technique. How are you able to copy it already? And we finally hear Orochi's voice, who says, you want fear? I'll give you fear. I'm wondering for the anime onlys if like they really feel like the Monster King is crazy strong. Like, do you as a viewer really get the impression that this guy is strong enough to fight Saitama? They redrew this scene from the opening. I think the opening did it a million times better. I wish they would have just used the scene from the opening. Whichever animator they got to do that opening shot, bring him back. This was another very difficult scene to animate because it's one of those huge Murata, like, spectacle art shots. And they did an okay job. There's really not like a lot of movement. A lot of people felt like they fumbled it here, but they don't show what happens. The next scene, Garou is just in a bed of rock, and that felt really unfortunate. We didn't even get to see the attack or anything. So again, there seems like they cut a lot out, they skipped things, they missed opportunities because they were rushed. They just simply didn't have the time, and it's more evident than ever here. Our episode's gonna end with Saitama finally making his way into the Monster Association through a manhole, and that is the end of the episode. I really did like a lot of the artistic shots here, and I liked a lot of the animations, not all of them, but I mean, there's obviously huge issues with this production. I feel like this is definitely the best episode we've gotten so far. Primarily it's because it's almost pure action, you know, and that's one of the biggest hurdles that One Punch Man Season 3 had, is that your first few episodes are pretty much all talking, so it just sets the season off to a bad precedent, but it's obviously not the only issue. I mean, there are tons and tons of production production issues here that everybody can notice who understands animation at all. The biggest of which appears to be consistency. They really took a lot of their time. They wanted to make sure that the art was great, like there was going to be these beautiful shots. You could take a lot of really cool screenshots of the anime, but they really just did not have the time to add more animation, it looks like. This thing just feels so rushed. And especially for a top tier anime, it's super unfortunate. But what are you going to do, man? I mean, this is probably a really good judgment of what we're going to get for the rest of the season. What you see here is probably what you're going to get. There are still some great animators to come. I'm sure we'll get some more nice cuts, but I think what you see is what you're going to get. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I still am going to watch One Punch Man. I still enjoy it, but I think the problems here are just obvious.